Do you think he is serious and sincere about wanting a deal?
He told me that with or without a deal, the United Kingdom will leave the EU on October 31st. There are a few days left, and I hope that Boris Johnson's imagination can produce ideas that we can actually discuss.
You're calling it a fantasy. That's very provocative. Are you saying that the British Prime Minister is not serious about this?
No, noi lo prendiamo sul serio.
No, we take him seriously, but we would like to consider proposals that are feasible and credible, that would protect business and citizens in the UK and in the European Union.
Naturalmente rispettiamo la volontà del popolo e dei cittadini.
And of course, we respect the will of the British people and their institutions, but the moment the UK leaves the EU, it becomes a third country. As a third country, the United Kingdom needs to put relationships in place with the EU in order to come up with an agreement.
Con l'Unione Europea ha bisogno di un accordo. Eravamo riusciti a farlo.
We did have an agreement. If we want to overcome that agreement, we must present the basis of credible proposals.
So is it right that Angela Merkel this morning expressed her belief that it was now extremely unlikely? Was that the impression that she gave you too?
Le opinioni della cancelliera Merkel
Angela Merkel's opinion must be taken seriously.
vanno prese sul serio. Siamo tutti molto preoccupati, signora.
We are all very
Siamo
worried
preoccupati perché
because there are only a
mancano
few
pochi
days
giorni,
left.
Perché
Because we understand that going out without an agreement leads to having a real problem, if not a catastrophe.
Are you concerned or are you angry?
No, io sono molto preoccupato. L'ho detto
I am
anche
very
al
worried.
Primo Ministro Johnson.
I expressed these worries with Prime Minister Johnson. We are worried because the United Kingdom living without a deal could cause huge economic and social repercussions.
Economici, sociali, può provocare delle questioni e riaprire.
It could trigger new issues in Ireland and reopen old ones. And this worries us a lot. Yesterday I met President Macron and he expressed the same concern.
Anche lui ha espresso questa preoccupazione.
Is it still possible, if we exit without a deal, to have a working relationship, a good future trade deal with Europe?
Questo purtroppo sarà.
This unfortunately will be postponed until after October the 31st. The meeting with Prime Minister Johnson began with a very strong declaration that with or without a deal, the United Kingdom will come out on October the 31st.
And you believe that now?
Alla mia domanda,
To my question if they will require an extension of Article 50, he told me no. Well, we have few days left and we need the basis to negotiate and discuss something credible.
What happens if he says no? What happens if he keeps saying no to this extension then?
That the UK will leave the European Union on the 31st of October without a deal. He said this with great sincerity. He said it and repeated it.
He would have to break the law to do that.
I have reminded him of the responsibility that we have towards the citizens of the European Union, and in his case towards British citizens.
But you see him as a serious politician, un politico serio.
I consider him to be the Prime Minister. We are used to taking everyone seriously, especially those who are responsible for so many citizens, for a country's future and the economy of that country.
Del futuro dell'economia di questo paese. Mi sono anche un po' accalorato con il signor Johnson.
I had a passionate conversation with Mr. Johnson because he and I are of similar age and belong to the same generation. I would have thought that 30 years on from the collapse of the Berlin Wall, our destiny would not be to separate. We have done a lot to build a European Union despite our differences, sensitive issues and interests. And now we, who are the children of this generation, are dividing. I believe this to be an historic time for which each person will be held to account. because the consequences of these actions cannot be foreseen.
Signor Sassoli, grazie a lei.
Grazie.